few months ago, I compared the Anker C1000 to the Ecoflow Delta 3 Plus and also the DJI Power 1000. But the Anker C1000, that one, completely died during one of the tests where I was overloading all the power stations, so I disqualified it as the worst option in the mix because the other two survived. Some of you said that was a little too harsh on Anker because I was so badly misusing the power station by overdrawing it that I should have expected that outcome. Electronics aren't perfect and sometimes things break, particularly when they're being misused, which that video clearly demonstrated. It was also pointed out to me by several viewers that I'm an idiot for not trying the reset button on the side of the C1000. This one right here. I'd like to inform those viewers that I did actually press that button, but it did nothing. It was the first thing that I tried. I just forgot to actually put that in the video, and that's my bad. It still does nothing. So what happened after that video though? Well, it turns out having a manufacturer stand behind their product warranty is a cool thing to experience. I reached out to Anker for support through email, and even though I filmed myself obviously destroying the C1000, that one right there, by using it for way more power than it was rated for, they shipped out a brand new unit, this one right here, and it arrived within a couple days of me getting in touch with them about it. I can't say I've had the same experience with Ecoflow. I have a broken Ecoflow Delta Pro that I can't get replaced, and it broke after being used for just one weekend. But I only can't get it replaced because it was a review unit and I don't actually have any kind of order number or receipt. I probably could get it replaced if I just said, hey, I'm a YouTuber, please replace this thing that you sent me and I broke. But I don't actually need that one and it seems kind of wasteful. And I also understand that any company would obviously offer me white glove customer service once they also become aware that I'm a content creator of some kind, because I'm just going to make a video about it. So instead, I asked ChatGPT what the general sentiment was for both companies and which was better, since it has pretty much indexed the entire internet and all of history, and I can just get an impartial answer. The result was essentially,
there are plenty of notable instances of commendations and dissatisfaction from both.
And from reading through Reddit and other message boards, usually you won't have any problem with either company, but problems can arise with customer service if you're buying secondhand from online marketplaces. But the same is true for most things that you buy or sell. So let's just get down to business. Today, the Anker C1000 is selling for $479 and the Ecoflow Delta 3 Plus is selling for $650. So the Ecoflow is about 40% more expensive, but does it offer 40% more value? Let's find out. Okay, so the price of the Anker C1000 has changed 3 times during my filming of this video due to different deals being applied and then expiring. So for example, the C1000 is now listed at $499. So instead of that whole 40% more value thing, we're just gonna do this thing showdown style and give 1 point to the winner for each category. The first point, and arguably the most important one, is for price, and that one goes to Anker. Also, this video is not sponsored by Anker or Ecoflow. It will be a completely financially unbiased comparison. That said, this video is sponsored by Artlist, which is what I use for music, stock footage, and sound effects in all of my videos. They also have a huge selection of LUTs, templates, and plugins for making your videos look great quickly without the help of a full-time editor. If you are a creator or filmmaker and want great music or digital assets for your videos, or even for paid client work and commercial projects, you can get 2 free months added to your plan when you sign up for Artlist with my affiliate link in the description of this video.
They also have AI voiceover on their platform, which is awesome.
And they'll be adding AI video generation soon. Artlist also has a new tools section on their website, which you can go to find their library extension, their AI assistant, and their professional plugins, which lets you plug into Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, and Final Cut Pro. I personally recommend using the Artlist Max plan because it's only $40 a month and it gives you access to everything on their platform and gives you a pretty significant discount when compared to getting all of their services individually. So thank you Artlist for sponsoring this video. So when I consider a portable power station, the first thing that I consider is how quickly can I charge it with solar and what solar options the company selling it has available in terms of solar panels. Anker has a 200 watt solar panel that you can add on for $350, putting your total at $850. And Ecoflow has a 220 watt portable solar panel that can add on for $350. So let's just consider the power stations themselves. If you just want to get your solar production to as high as possible, Anker can charge with a single solar input at 600 watts and Ecoflow can charge with 2 separate MPPT controllers at 500 watts each, 1 kilowatt total. So it can charge from 0 to full in only 70 minutes, while Anker would take you closer to 2 hours. Ecoflow is actually 67% more capable in terms of total solar input. 1 point goes to Ecoflow for solar input. If we're charging with grid power, Anker can get us a charge at 1300 watts, but we have to connect to it with the mobile mobile app and enable it every time we want to do that. Otherwise, we're capped at 1000 watts, and Ecoflow will charge at 1500 watts without all that fuss. One more point goes to Ecoflow for AC input. In terms of power output, they both claim a base of 1800 watts of continuous output. Ecoflow has XBoost, which lets you continuously power appliances over 2600 watts and surges of up to 3600 watts. Anker claims their surge output is up to 2400 watts. The last time I really tested these limits, as some of you are aware, the Delta 3 Plus was the only power station that was able to power 2 electric kettles at the same time. But staying within the bounds of what they're both advertising for continuous output, it's Anker's 1800 watts versus Ecoflow's 2600 watts, but that's only with XBoost, and XBoost has its own limitations. Both power stations' AC output ratings are the same at 1800 watts, but Ecoflow still gets a point for having an advantage on total AC output capabilities due to XBoost. For USB output, Anker's C1000 gives us a single 100 watt USB-C, a 30 watt USB-C, and two 12 watt USB-A ports. Ecoflow absolutely dominates this category with two 140 watt USB-C ports and two 36 watt USB-A ports. If you depend on charging multiple large devices over USB like laptops, and charging speed is important to you, the Ecoflow is at least 100% more capable in this category. So yet another point goes to Ecoflow for USB output options. Both power stations have standard car sockets, so that's a tie. But Ecoflow again is the only one of these two that has the DC 5521 barrel plugs. One more point to Ecoflow on those extra DC charging ports. The power strip on Anker C1000 is actually way better in my opinion because all 6 AC plugs have ground pins, and Ecoflow only has 3 AC plugs with ground pins. Anker gets another point for including an objectively more useful power strip for most people. Both power stations can be expanded with extra batteries. Adding on Anker's 1 kilowatt-hour expansion battery currently costs you around $400, and all of Ecoflow's options are more expensive. Anker gets one more point for having a cheaper 1 kilowatt-hour expansion battery option, but Ecoflow also gets a point for having more expansion options. They both weigh about the same and are roughly the same size, so I'm not going to give points to either of them for that category. Beyond the specs though, I have noticed that the Ecoflow is a bit quieter in operation, both when being charged and when powering things. One more point goes to Ecoflow for better noise control. One thing the Anker C1000 has that the Ecoflow Delta 3 Plus doesn't have is a built-in camping light, which is actually a really handy feature when you need it, so one more point for Anker's C1000 on utility features. Both power stations have Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can turn them on and off remotely, so no points to either of them for that category. In conclusion, Ecoflow earns way more points in terms of which one has better features with more solar input, more AC power input, more AC power output, and DC output. All the categories that really matter when considering a power station, but it's also really up to you to decide whether those features are worth the money. It's not like either one of these is going to power your stuff for longer time than the other, because remember, if you aren't buying any expansion batteries, these are both just 1 kilowatt-hour power stations, give or take a few watts. So if I had to recommend a budget power station to a friend today, I would start by asking, what do you need to power? Because in most cases, you can save a couple $100 going with Anker, even though Ecoflow's power station is objectively better. So if you want to pick up either one of these, there's links to them in the description of this video. Thanks for keeping me honest with your comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.